comrades, and welcome to Pandemic Sewing video number 6, the slip stitch. For this stitch, you thread your needle just like you have for every other stitch so far. Knot it off just like you have for every other stitch so far. This stitch is called the Sneaky Bunny because we're going to pretend that we're a sneaky little bunny in our burrow, and we can only get one little carrot real close to the burrow because otherwise the fox or the owl is going to get you. Don't be a greedy bunny. When I say the burrow, I'm referring to this space sort of inside your hem. This is another hem stitch. It's also used in some finishing techniques. So you'll see on your hem, you've got this little small fold of fabric and then the main part of your hem. When we're traveling in this stitch, you're actually traveling inside this little fold. It'll be easier to show. Okay, so it starts very similar to the whip stitch. You're gonna fold your hem back like this and go through just the hem. You're not going through the outside fabric at all. You zoomed, good, thank you. Then, this is where you turn into the bunny. You catch a few threads of your fashion fabric. Those are your carrots. You go into your burrow, but then you get hungry, so you come out at the next black dot. And so this is what it looks like when you're doing the stitch. So you've caught your carrot, you've gone right back into your burrow, you've traveled in your burrow, and you've come out at the next black dot to get another carrot. So you're out of your burrow. You don't want to travel too far because the owl might get you. So as close as you can to where you came out, you're going to catch a few threads of your fashion fabric. You're going to get your carrot, and you're going to go right back into your burrow. So there you go. That's what it's going to look like. I'm going to do a few without talking. You notice that I'm holding the thread down with my thumb as I'm pulling it through. That helps to keep everything nice and flat. The goal with this stitch is to be invisible both on this side and this side of the fabric. So here we go. Couple carrots, back in the burrow. Couple carrots, back in the burrow. Okay, you can pause, Toby. Okay, so when you get to the end of your line of stitching, oh, I forgot to tell you, just like with the whip stitch and the uneven baste, with the stitch you're sort of keeping your needle kind of parallel to the fabric as you're catching your carrot and going back into your burrow. So then when you get to the end of your line of stitching, you're going to knot off just like you've knotted off everywhere else. So tiny bite of your fabric, needle through part way, wrap your thread around the needle once, wrap your thread around the needle twice, pull the needle through, and that will make a knot. And then drop your thread to the other side of the fabric and cut it off. And if you've done this stitch correctly, it should be little tiny barely visible dots on this side, little tiny barely visible dots on this side. And that, my friends, is the slip stitch or the Sneaky Bunny.